Part 4, 1983. 1983 was humdrum as usual. Then this happened and all hell broke loose. That guy in the white shirt and glasses was Ninoy Aquino, the father of the president. The man interviewing him was an American journalist. One of the men crowding him and holding a tape recorder was a Japanese reporter. The men who escorted him out of the plane were ABSICOM soldiers. They were in charge of airport security at the Manila International Airport, now renamed Ninoy Aquino International Airport. The man wearing a blue shirt lying on the ground was supposedly the assassin, according to the explanation of President Marcos and his spokesman, among them the Minister of Public Misinformation. Information. The assassin was called Rolando Galman. They were able to know his name because he had his name etched on his underwear. If you can believe that, then I will sell you the Statue of Liberty and the Golden Gate Bridge. They're on sale now. Buy one, get one half off. According to Marcos and his scriptwriters, Galman was an NPA gunman, a communist. Later, the media found out that he worked with the NFA, the National Food Authority, an agency created by Marcos. He was an NFA truck driver, Galman was. Oh well, NFA, NPA, close enough, right? Apparently, the scriptwriters do not know how to spell. So the official story going around was that Ninoy Aquino was killed by a communist gunman in the heavily guarded section of the airport. Of course, everyone believed them. That is to say, everyone who had a private room in Mandaluyong at the Philippine Mental Hospital. Let's see what happened after Ninoy was killed by the NFA assassin. Ninoy Aquino's death shocked most Lasallians, even the most apathetic. If a senator can be killed by Marcos's men, am I safe? Are my parents safe? They asked themselves. Suddenly, the campus of the elite was filled by yellow shirts proclaiming, "Hindi ka nag-iisa, Ninoy." There were shirts that proclaimed, "Who killed Ninoy?" on the front, and a can of Baguio oil at the back. For those who don't get this, the slogan of Baguio Oil in the 80s was "Order ni Mrs." I leave it to your imagination. I'm not freebie about what the student council was doing in their offices at the time, but the following days they were clueless and did not know how to handle this mass outpouring of outrage against Marcos. In the meantime, USAP members were already on their feet and talking to various organizations like Rotaract, Biocircle, Engineering Society, etc., and talking about an alliance against Marcos. They held the different groups held different opinions about how to deal with Marcos, but they were united in saying that Marcos must go. The meetings were, of course, secretly done. They were held secretly. Thus, LSDA was formed, the LaSalle Students Democratic Alliance, LSDA, the great-grandfather of Tapat. Many will disagree with that statement of mine, that LSDA was the grandfather of Tapat. But I'm sticking to that because it's the truth. Tapat will not have come to fruition without the LSDA. The USAP was ignored and ridiculed in the early 80s, But in 1983, they were a force to be dealt with because they were the brains of the LSDA. If the truth is inconvenient for some, that's tough, but that is the truth. I was there when it happened. So remember Gandhi's words: ignored, laughed at, fought, and win. This was the fourth stage. And who did most of the fighting? You will normally think the admin. But no, the Conservative Student Council at the time did most of the fighting against the enlightenment of the students. The facade of the Marcos government that was carefully erected by Mr. Marcos for more than a decade is coming apart. And people who were comfortable with the status quo were now wetting their pants. Like Marcos, they called for sobriety. Let us all be sober, they said. Usap, speaking at LSDA General Assembly, argued, you cannot murder someone like a pig and call for sobriety. It is so easy. It is so easy if you are the butcher to call for sobriety. It is so easy if you're rolling to Malacanang in your limo and eating caviar with your generals and call for sobriety. So easy and so convenient. The student council called for sobriety, but some Lasallians scratched their heads, some walked out of their classes and marched on to the streets. After a few weeks of this, the student council had a change of heart and marched with the LSDA, but they led the marches and the LSDA let them have the honor. The administration also had enough, and many times the university president joined us along with some college deans. But there was division just the same. The LSDA wanted to bring the marches to Malacanang, but the more moderate ones wanted to stay in Makati. This is what a Makati rally looked like, full of confetti and yellow shirts. Take a look. So LSDA left them in Makati and marched on to Menjola. Among the 1,200 that joined the series of marches to Ugarte Field in Makati, about 150 to 200 proceeded to Menjola. In Menjola, it was different. The policemen were armed to the teeth and blocked Menjola Bridge with barricades and fire trucks. They were wearing riot police gear and gas masks, which only meant one thing. They were going to tear gas the rallies. In Menjola, it was different. We were no longer joined solely by students from La Salle, Ateneo, and Saintsco. Side by side, we were joined now by UP, PUP, PCU, and FEU, and other universities. In Menjola, it was different. We were flanked by workers and farmers, no longer the perfume and manicured yappies of Makati Business District. In Menjola, we were staring the dictatorship of Mr. Marcos in the eye and were roundly beaten up, tear gassed, and shot at by policemen. Although by some miracle we always got away. We came back again and again until our fears were replaced by resolve, and our resolve was replaced by commitment. This is what a Menjola rally looked like.